Every time you speak, people make a decision. Is this someone I can follow, or is this someone I mentally downgrade? That decision is usually made before you finish your second sentence. I learned this the hard way. Back in 2019, I got fired. Not once, but twice. Entire business units were shut down, and I was a part of that shutdown. I was making classic sales mistakes and showing the wrong behaviors in the moments that matter. 6 years later, that experience translated into helping raise over $200 million across early stage and growth stage crypto companies. I've operated both at a community and institutional scale. Been in rooms connected to serious capital, including funds operating at a NASDAQ level, and seeing both sides of the table. I've watched hundreds of founders pitch, and I've watched investors decide. And what I learned is that most founders don't lose because they don't have something valuable. They lose because the way they speak makes people feel uncertain, and uncertainty is expensive. So today I'm going to break down a repeatable structure elite startup founders use to sound decision-ready with exact language you can use immediately. What we're going to do is build what I called a founder authority script. It's created by fixing 5 behaviors that quietly destroy authority and replacing them with a simple change that builds trust quickly. Let's get into it. The first mistake founders make is over-explaining. You can have the best idea in the room, but if you cannot communicate it clearly, you already lost. Most over-explaining comes from insecurity. You're not fully clear yet, so you talk around the idea. You're unsure how it will land, so you keep adding context. You watch their face, and when you don't get the reaction you want, you keep talking. I used to do it constantly. I would walk people through my entire mental journey, the background, the nuance, every angle. I thought I was being detailed. What I was actually doing was making the room work harder. And when people have to work harder to understand you, they trust you less. Elite startup founders do the opposite. They speak in conclusions, not explanations. They sound like someone who has already made a decision. They say things like, here's the decision we're making. We are focusing on X. We're doing it because it gives us the fastest path forward. And it means we're intentionally not doing Z right now. Then they stop talking. They don't feel the silence. They don't justify themselves. They let decision sit. Silence gives your words weight. When you're comfortable with silence, people assume you're confident in the direction. If you struggle to say something clearly in few sentences, it's not a speaking problem, it's a clarity problem. The second mistake is letting your body undermine your words. Because what you say doesn't matter if your body tells a different story. People don't analyze body language consciously. They feel it. Fast movements, constant gestures, pacing, adjusting your clothes, touching your face. All of it reads as nervous energy. I've seen startup founders with strong numbers lose the room because they looked unsettled. And I've seen founders with weaker data hold attention because they looked calm and grounded. Your body is either reinforcing your message or quietly contradicting it. This becomes obvious during stress, during drawdowns, during bad news, during missed targets. When leaders look scattered, confidence evaporates. When leaders stay calm, even bad news lands better. The fix is simple. Move less, pause longer, use your hands only when something truly matters. If your body looks regulated, your decisions feel safer to follow. The third mistake is asking for permissions instead of setting direction. In serious rooms, no one appoints you as a leader. You claim your leadership through how you frame conversation. Founders lose authority when they open with language like, I just wanted to share. Maybe we could. What do you think we should do now? That sounds collaborative, but it signals uncertainty. Elite founders open differently. They say, I want to be clear on the goal of this conversation. By the end of this call, we need to decide one thing. If this is a yes, here's what happens next. The framing immediately reduces confusion. People don't want endless discussions. They want a clear path. The person who creates the path becomes the leader. The fourth mistake is avoiding the hard truth. People don't say it out loud, but they keep score. Every time you dodge reality, credibility drops. Every time you soften the truth, confusion grows. And confusion slows everything. Capital slows, teams hesitate, execution drags. Founders avoid the hard truth because it feels safer. They wrap it in context, they delay the point, they talk around the issue, but everyone in the room feels it. Elite founders do the opposite. They lead with the hard truth calmly. They sound like this. Here's the constraint we're dealing with. Here's what we tried. Here's what we learned. And here's what we're changing because of it. No drama, no defensiveness. Truth delivered with composure feels like leadership. And the final mistake is changing under pressure. Inconsistency kills trust faster than mistakes. If your tone shifts when you're stressed, if your pace speeds up, if your clarity drops, people stop trusting your direction. Not because they dislike you, but because they can't predict you. The best founders are boring under pressure. Same tone, same pace, same decision quality. Predictability creates psychological safety. Psychological safety enables execution. Execution builds confidence in you. Executive presence is not a charisma, it's regulation. If you're in the middle of this right now, team meetings, investor calls, pitch decks, presentations, this is what I want you to remember. Most people in the room are not judging your idea. They are judging how safe it feels to follow your decisions. They're listening for clarity. They're watching for regulation. They're asking themselves one question. Does this person reduce uncertainty or create more of it? So here's your challenge for this week. Pick one real conversation you already have scheduled. Team meeting, an investor update, a pitch call, whatever. And run this approach once. Be clear about what's being decided. State the decision directly. Give one clean reason. Acknowledge the trade-off. Close with what happens next. Fewer words, cleaner decision, more control of the room. That alone will change how people respond to you. And if you're realizing that the issue is not just how you speak, but how your pitch, structure, and fundraising process are set up overall, you should follow this channel. I help founders remove uncertainty before they get on a call, from positioning and narrative to investor readiness. If you want direct feedback from me, DM me on X or on LinkedIn. Links are in the description. And remember, capital doesn't move on hype. It moves when uncertainty is removed. See you at the next one.